Good evening, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is luxury, with special emphasis, as usual in my videos, on a feature of it, a facet of it, and that will be where it intersects with technology in a 5-minute video, if you will. So, luxury, what do I mean? I mean things that are nice to have, things that aren't necessarily available without extra work or purchasing or providing for them somehow. Things that don't just grow on trees, or if they do, they're not easy to get. So, I'm going to have an example. Those of you who have seen my videos before know I have real world examples, hopefully from my own experience that I can vouch for. And I'm going to speak about the science of contraception again. I know that's kind of a repetitive subject for me in my videos, but hear me out on this one. There's a luxury we enjoy, most people in this part of the world, in America. Many people take it for granted because it's so common and cheap and available. And that is, like I said, contraception. And the hundreds, if not thousands, of different ways that people can use it and get it. And the thing is, I don't believe most people are aware of how recent a development this is in human history. Granted, I was not alive thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago, but for the vast duration of human time on Earth, there has not been advanced contraception. So, at the very least, it's fair to say that we did not evolve with the pill, with IUDs, with diaphragms, with the types of things that now have enabled behaviors that are, in an evolutionary sense, unprecedented for us. Please hear me out. I am not passing judgment on casual sex in this video. That's for other videos. I'm kidding, but semi-kidding. But there's a luxury of being whimsical now, being frivolous, being impulsive, being, for lack of a better way to put it, a little bit twisted sometimes, a little bit obscene. And why is it obscene? Okay, so let me explain that before you feel bad about that word. Imagine a world with no laboratories, because that has been our world. This isn't fiction. We didn't evolve with laboratories. They haven't always been around. It's hard to imagine. It really is. A world without things that we take for granted, like grocery stores. Those also haven't been around. This video is not about that either, but factories, laboratories, advanced technology, or even, average low-tech stuff nowadays hasn't been around that long. The stuff that we use to produce things like contraception. So, to get to my point, there are certain types of unions, sexual unions, that historically have been extremely problematic for a lot of reasons. I'm going to, give an example, a very specific kind of graphic example, where you have sometimes nowadays, pairings with multiple males. Maybe it's an orgy, maybe it's just a threesome, and I understand the appeal. Don't get me wrong, for the woman, that is, or if the men are bisexual, that happens. I'm not judging, again. What I am saying is that this, without contraception, would create a tremendous problem when pregnancy happens. Unless you think that not knowing who the father is doesn't matter. Because, for financial reasons, but not just financial reasons, biological reasons, a father wants to know which child is his, and the child wants to know which father is his or hers. And more importantly, vitally even, the mother needs to know. The family needs to know who is responsible for this child from the male genes. It's very important. And I'm going to say this one last time, the only reason why we are able to indulge now in these kinds of behaviors, there's a whole bunch of them, is because of laboratories, factories, distribution channels, advanced social structures, infrastructure that enable us to do that. But it is very unnatural. I cannot overemphasize this. And this is science, okay? And you may not agree with science. You may not agree with facts or data or reality. That's up to you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm really not. I'm just saying that if ever our factories went away, these behaviors would immediately become catastrophic for you, everybody. Some of them. So, no, okay. Well, you don't see it. You don't agree. That's fine. Maybe if you think about it. Maybe if you think about, general practice resulting in ambiguity as to who the father is in half the cases of pregnancy. Maybe that's a problem for you. I don't know, because that's kind of where we would end up. I see that as a problem. And I think a lot of other people would too. That would be a bigger problem than you realize, I think, or that I can even realize, because I don't live in that world either right now, but I can imagine it. Anyway, it's going on 6 minutes now, a little after 6-minute video. I want people to, I'm going to wrap up with a qualification. I think people need to be themselves. First and foremost, they need to be empowered by whatever means necessary to feel comfortable in their own skin, especially behind closed doors in their own private houses and homes with people who are, equal mind and consentable, people who are, consenting, I guess is the word. It's none of my business or anyone's business how people love each other. And I am of the belief that there's no wrong way to love. If you're doing something wrong, it's not love. It's something else. Love doesn't hurt. It really doesn't. It can't. If you look at any case where you think love hurts, like if there's a breakup, or if you think that loving somebody has damaged them, it's something else. If you look close enough, it's either loss or abuse of some kind, negligence. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we like to blame love for, but it's never love. Anyway, something to think about. Your dependency on technology, because it hasn't always been here, and that tells me one thing: it may never be here. At some point, it may go away. That happens. Historically, things happen. Anyway, have a great night. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.